Let's see. What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome to our morning note. It is August 12th, 2020. This is the GAR Capital YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. We do this every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time during market days. Uh, it is August 12th, like I said. Let's go ahead and talk market, shall we? If you haven't already, make sure bottom right-hand corner is our little icon, GAR Capital icon. Make sure to click it to subscribe to our channel. Make sure to like our videos, really do appreciate it. And of course, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Sometimes I like to do impromptu videos and talk about stuff. So again, if you like the content, really do appreciate it. As always, comments are always welcome. And of course, you know, just more information for you, anything that you want to see. I really do appreciate that as always. All right, let's go ahead and talk market, shall we? Dow futures are up 315 points on a nice bounce today from yesterday's sell-off. Well, sell-off, if you want to say it that. I'll go over that here in a second. Nasdaq futures up 0.63%, flirting with the 11,000 level. 3356 on the S&P, up nearly 1%. And Russell 2000 index 1596 after we tapped 1600, up about 1.17%. Crude oil futures are 42.55, right at the, again, like I said, 40 level seems to be that support, up 2.24%. The dollar is down again, 93.36, 0.28%. Bitcoin futures 11,595, up about 1.4%. Gold futures, nice little bounce after that big fall. I'll go over that here in a second, 0.12%. And silver futures bouncing back off overnight lows, basically flat pre-market. Euro dollar for my Forex people, 117.95, up about 0.49%. 117.95, 106.73 on the dollar yen, up about 22 pips, 106.73. All right, so I'm going to kind of talk about a couple things. GLD, I'm going to go ahead and bring up GLD first because I've gotten that question a lot. Again, we did the YouTube video channel, and August 28th is our expiry. I'm still holding on to it. Yeah, it's pretty red after that big drop. Still got some time. I still think we're going to bounce, which we have. It kind of tapped around 178.50-ish. Again, with the market being down yesterday, you get those kind of pullbacks. It's completely normal, guys. Not everything goes straight up. This is trading. And I've noticed a lot of people get very nervous about certain things, about certain trades. And I said this before, if you're nervous about any position, first of all, any kind of trade you get, you shouldn't be celebrating too much. You shouldn't be popping champagne every winning trade you get. It should get to the point that you're just used to it. And that's when you know you're pretty much, you know what you're doing. Same thing, the opposite side. If you are kind of freaking out over any trade, you're doing it wrong. You shouldn't. It should just be normalized to you because you have a consistent position level. So, for example, I'll give you mine. I always tell people 2 to 4%. So for me, a full position is $1,000 trade. $1,000 trade is what I usually put. Sometimes I'll go half position, which is $500, which is the contract. Completely normal. That works for me for my position sizing. That's why if I lose $1,000 on a trade, it goes completely to the opposite side and I just lose that. Again, your risk is capped. I don't even think about it. I just move on, and I just like that. Now there's some times where you have like some really killer trades. I remember I got a 500% on SLV. Yeah, those are nice. Trust me, you get very excited for those. But for the most part, you get used to it. You just move on, and you kind of think of it that way. And you do celebrate every poker hand that you get, and you win a hand in poker when you're playing with your buddies. Probably not. If you play FIFA on Xbox or PlayStation, do you celebrate every single win you get? Probably not. You just get used to it. Just like anything else, the more you do things, the more you get used to it. Do you celebrate every time you drive to your job and work? Probably not. Once you learn something and you consistently do it, you tend to do better at it. So, looking at GLD here, let's go ahead and kind of look at it together. I'm gonna bring up the hourly chart. Yeah, break of that fib level, 185.64. Now we're back at 181.80. What happened? Basically, you just got a liquidation. Again, you're talking about the rotation, right? I talk about rotation out of tech stocks. Well, tech and metals have been absolutely outperforming. So again, the dollar was weak yesterday. So again, to me, that was telling me that the people that held gold and silver basically took profits. That's all it was. They just said, hey, man, I'm just going to lock in gains here. I killed it and I'm just going to move on. And that's okay. Again, does that mean that silver and gold are not going to go back up? No, not necessarily. I mean, there was times where Tesla fell. There's times where Amazon fell. There's times when Apple fell. Did you freak out and sell there? I don't know, but I know I didn't. Again, you have to think of the long game. That's why we bought the expiry a little longer for GLD for August 28th. Could it come back? Absolutely. I've definitely had trades like a FedEx where I was down like 65% same week, and it had unusual option activity, so I played it. It was a signal, and then we crawled back up to break even. And I was nervous for the signal, and I was like, you know what, let's just take it. It soared the next day when UPS announced their numbers. It got up to around 150%. I learned from that. I got impatient because I was worried about the signal, and I should have held it. Same thing was squared. Happened to me before. I closed out 20% gain, and I was just nervous. The thing freaking soared. It happens, guys. You have to stick to with your stuff. Now, people say, "Oh, stop loss, stop loss." Yeah, guys, I get it. You want to have a stop loss. And options, it just doesn't work. You're gonna keep getting stopped because any little headline will screw your position. And then what? You know, I would say correct your position size so you don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? So if you say to me, Carlos, I have $1,000 position with a 50% stop loss. I'll say, why don't you have a $500 position with a 100% stop loss where you just can ride the whole thing and see what happens. That makes sense to me. That's a little easier. You're not constantly checking the screen. I think with a lot of people, and I've noticed that people just can't sit on their hands, that they get very antsy with the lights on like it's a casino. Guys, 80% of trading is really just waiting. And that's really what it is. If you're not a patient person, if you're the type of person that needs to constantly doing something, this probably isn't for you. And I tell people all the time, guys, if you just can't sit on your hands and you constantly need to be doing something, demo trade. If that's what it is, demo trade to your heart's delight. Go ahead and do whatever makes you happy. You can do some craziness and, no harm, no foul. But when it comes to your cash and your capital, and you know how much you're trading, this is your money that you worked hard for. I wouldn't just risk it just because. You have to trade correctly and be smart. Again, this is a business. Don't treat it like a game because it's not. It's not a hobby. This is a business, and treat it as such. So GLD, looking at it, I bought some 182 calls with our students yesterday on the low. Good shout out to Nick for looking at that chart. And he went ahead and we went ahead and bought some. And I think we're going to hit today because we were in the money just recently, about 5 minutes ago. So I'll probably get 40% on that bad boy and move on. Tesla, big news. I didn't put that on the headline. Tesla reported a 5-to-1 stock split. I think it's a really great idea. I think they're taking their cues from Apple, and I think hopefully more companies will do the same. Maybe a Google and Amazon will do the same and do a stock split. That'd be great. Facebook doesn't really need to, but again, these kind of high, I guess, high sticker price tech stocks like a Google and an Amazon should be able to do a stock split. Do I say to buy here on Tesla? I said this before when it came to Apple. Do you want 4 quarters or do you want $1? It's the same thing. So is Tesla a buy here? I'm not against it if you want to buy it here if you really feel the need to. I'm long the stock. Do I see myself buying any today? Not really. I don't. I really, guys. When it comes to investing, I'm not very impulsive. Again, you have to be very calculated. Know your levels where you want to buy. Know what you're gonna do. Don't buy something because they're having a stock split. That doesn't. That to me, it's nice long term. Yeah, I think more people are gonna get into it. But again, as an investor, don't think as a trader. Think as an investor. Does it really change your mentality that they're splitting the stock? I guess if you say so. Again, if you liked Tesla 3 months ago, does you like Tesla more today? I guess. I mean, I like the story. I like Elon. I like the cars. I don't own one, but I would love to own one. And a stock split, I think is very investor friendly. That's really nice. But again, you still have fractional shares floating around, I guess. But a 5-for-1 is nice. Does it make me want to run and buy Tesla today? No, I already own some. I'd rather buy some on a pullback, not because there's a stock split open. So again, I like to buy when things are on sale, not because everyone's buying it today. That's more of a trading thing. That's more of a stock option thing where I want to ride the wave. But as an investor, I'm always looking for something that I want to buy and move forward. So, and I still like it. But again, I'm not saying I'll never buy Tesla again. But again, I just don't see the reason to buy it today because they announced a stock split. Could they have an Apple type move where they just move up? Absolutely. I will take a look at calls if that's the case. Definitely will take a look at it. Keep in mind, this Tesla split really tells me that I think they're going to be added to the S&P. I really do. So I already own shares. Again, would I buy some today? Again, they have to see the price action. I have to see if it gets to the level I want to buy. But I don't see myself getting into it just because. I put this chart up yesterday on E-mini futures, and you could see here we had a drop here on 723. I talked about that. Then we kind of treaded water for a little bit. Last time we had these drops was really just a couple of weeks ago, actually about a week ago. And you could see that we're still within this channel here. with your support right around 33.30, and we bounced off that. So again, guys, I think people really have the idea of that everything just goes straight up. It doesn't work that way. Again, you're going to get some profit taking, you're going to get some rotations, you're going to get some moves here and there. This idea of perfection doesn't exist. If that's what you expect, you're going to fail. There's no perfection. There's progression, which is smart. Strive for progress, not perfection, as always. Also, congratulations if you got the Goldman Sachs trade yesterday. I said about the alert to the upside. So if you caught that, awesome work. We broke that alert. We played in. We got it within 2 minutes. So remember that alert I placed yesterday, which was 213.81. We closed right above that. We're at 215.29. It's still going. Goldman is still going. Financials are still going. So what have I said? Citibank, JPM. I did a JPM trade. I wish I would have held, but I got out and then I got in gold. I had Goldman and I didn't want too much financial exposure. So I had JPM 105 calls. If I would have held it, I would have been in the money. I would have made profit, but I closed out at break even because I got into Goldman. So I didn't want to do double take on that. So I wish I would have held it, but either way, JPM is up. So take a look at JPM. If it breaks the 106.65 level, let's see if we get a continuation to the upside. Let's go ahead and put an alert together. 106.75. That should be pretty decent. That's right above. Let me see if I can go ahead and close this one here. Let's cancel that alert. So I have a level 106.75, and then you could target right around 110, 108. It is a Wednesday, so again, maybe look for next week. If you do want to play the 110s, if there's volume, take a look at the 110s on JPM as a heads up. So 106.75, place your alerts. I don't want to hear excuses. Same thing with Citi. If you have any kind of volume here, let's put an alert together 55.40. And if we break that, let's take a look at next week's calls. And you want to take a look at maybe 56, 57 for next week. Give yourself a little bit of room. It is Wednesday. Again, if you want quick money, it's this week. It's all about volume, but Citibank looks decent. Goldman, again, we talked about that. Goldman, if it does retake that high of two, I'm going to put an alert at 216. If we do break that, then I'll start taking a look at the 220s, which is I played yesterday, and I'll probably go for next week. Let's see if we get there. 216 is our level. So I still like the financials. The financials are moving still. Very nicely done. Inflation data is up, which is really nice. Bond yields are up. Good for banks. So again, higher rates are good for banks. Keep in mind there. GLD, looking at that, of course, we need to break 185.64. If you think that the dollar is going to continue to weaken, if you think the stimulus package is going to happen, then 185 calls on GLD may not be a bad idea. Look for next week, if anything. But again, I'm still holding those calls. Tesla today. Let's go ahead and take a look. I mean, if you did want to play it, I would say you're gonna have to buy it right around 15.20 for a breakout. You're still kind of treading water, so don't force the issue. But 1520, you could probably target 1600. But again, it's not much there. I do have some Apple going on. Apple is pretty much just treading water here. It is up pre-market, about $4. Let's see if we can retake that high. I've seen the Nasdaq is up, which is nice. Again, just gonna take some time to wait. Facebook, we're playing the bounce of the 100-day. We're literally right at the 100-day. We had a break to the upside. It kind of faded, obviously, with the day. We had a break of 266, played that bounce up that 100, and then the end of the day, sell that we had. So again, still holding. Nothing has changed. I'm still rocking with it. So that's basically what's going on, guys. Kind of understand that you get these rotations here and there. You get these kind of moves. But for the most part, kind of stick to your risk analysis. I said this on Instagram. Don't get cute with your positions. Don't start going all in. Stick to what you know. Stay in your lane. At the end of the day, if you have a $5,000 account, don't be risking $1,000 on every position. You're gonna get blown out. So be very, very careful. I don't know how much money you have. I don't know how much risk you could take. That's a you question. So understand that moving forward. So that's my monologue. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Thoughts on SPHD and SPYD? Which one to go for? SPYD is basically for dividend. These are both dividend names. So it really depends. Look at the holdings and see what stocks of those you like. Tesla options, when should I be alerted to buy? I just put that up. Good morning, good morning. Disney, 132.75 for calls. Let's see. Let's put an alert at 132.76, which is that high. I'll put an alert at 132.80. If we do get there, then calls would definitely be nice. Take a look at the 140s if we get volume. What are your thoughts on XLF calls? XLF calls are extremely cheap. That's the thing. And I was taking a look at them. So I'd rather you take a look at Goldman City, and what's the other one I said? JPM. Because XLF, for example, I get charged 30 cents per contract, and the contracts for XLF are like a quarter. So I'm basically getting charged double. For that, I'd rather just get something else, and then I have to spend X amount of contracts just to fill. So XLF is just too cheap. Keep that in mind. So I think Facebook will bounce back today. I do. Good morning. How's Moderna looking? Moderna did show a boost in pre-market, but every time it does, it fades. So I'm staying away. I'd rather not play because there's a lot of insider selling. Stay away. You're gonna get burnt. Stay away. Let's see. How will the next stimulus be probably announced? I have no idea. I'm not in Washington. That I don't think they know. So I don't know. I'm hoping that we get it soon, obviously. Any hope for our Facebook and Apple? Absolutely. Good morning. Entry point for Take Two Interactive. Take Two Interactive, I would say right at that 200 day, 162.97. I don't want to own it. I already own ESPO, which is the esports ETF. That's a video game ETF. It has all these names: Activision, Nintendo. It has EA, has Take Two. It has Activision Blizzard. So I'm okay with just owning it all. Thank you for the advice and knowledge. More. You're welcome. What do you think about AMD calls? Let's take a look at AMD. AMD is okay. You need to break that 100-day moving average of 83.47 before you do anything. Till then, I wouldn't touch it for calls. Should we buy the dip in the Nasdaq now? That's really up to you. I mean, I have not bought any stocks yesterday. Metals, again, I just spoke about that. What happens if if you hold contracts through the split? Then your broker would adjust the contracts correctly. Apple and Facebook skull face? No. Yeah, that's the thing I talk about. Apple and Facebook were signals, and it really has been a couple of hours, and everyone freaks out. That's when I know people that put too much risk in there. People that ask like that, guarantee they put too heavy, and that's just the reality. BA puts. I actually had BA calls yesterday, and BA puts. No, I don't see. There's a gap to fill at 179. If you break below that, 178.27, maybe. But until then, I don't see anything here. Are you still bullish on item? I am. Are you thinking money, or you think money rotating back like previous recent history, three-day rotation back? No, I still think there's still the rotation into financials a little bit. But again, Nasdaq is just underperforming these names. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just you're not getting that flush in there. J&J, J&J, I don't own, nor do I trade the option. The option is just the stock is sideways. Nothing to do there. Are you still bullish on IWM? I am very bullish on IWM. I love it, and I think we're recovering. You can see that. In order to play the breakout, you got to get above 159.93. I got out of the 160s yesterday. Personally, we banked. Tesla calls, keeping in mind the split. I spoke about Tesla already. This is why I do the monologue, guys. So I suggest you don't ask questions until I finish the monologue because I answer pretty much everything on there because I know you guys. I know what you're going to ask before you ask it. BAC, Bank of America, I don't trade it. Again, it's a cheaper one. The options are super cheap, so I get commission hit. I'd rather be in GS. I'd rather be in JPM. I'd rather play a city. IBB, I own long term, which is the ETF for the biotech. You see the high of 146.75. Pretty much treading water. I don't see myself adding anytime soon unless we start getting the daily, which is right around 128. I'll probably get some more there. That's right at the 100-day moving average. I'll play that bounce. One piece of advice for the month: patience. Patience. Stop living 5 seconds from now. Stop living 5 minutes away from now. You got to think long term. I understand, guys. We're used to scrolling down, and I need it this second. I need it this second. I need to know what I'm doing. And people have the attention span of a flea. I get it. We're throwing information constantly. If you have no patience, get out of the door, man. This is not for you. It's not going to work for you, man. I know you don't like Roku, but support. What do you think? Good call entry soon. Roku just had a upgrade from Deutsche Bank. They expect a 30% increase in the stock. I own the stock. The options just piss me off, and I rather not trade it. But again, in order for me to even consider Roku, you have to get above 160. Following FBA suggested points on break. You're talking about a downside move. 252.73. I haven't alerted to the downside. Can GDX recover? Yes. QQQ. Again, Nasdaq is up, and it's up pre-market. It's up $2. I mean, I still need a 270 break before I consider buying calls. I'd rather wait, see a little more recovery. I'm in some tech stocks. I'm in Apple and I'm in Facebook calls. Just playing pure bounces. That's all. NIOs are continue to falling. I've told everyone, do not get into NIO if you don't, again, I've seen this before. NIO, Nicola, forget it. You're not getting my money. Rather you be in Tesla, if that's the case. Thoughts on casino names with Macau issuing visas again? Yeah, Win is probably my favorite one out of all of them. I don't own any. FB, I already talked about that. Qualcomm, they had I think it was a legal thing where they said that they didn't have a monopoly or some kind of lawsuit that they won that was thrown out. 112.36 is my level for a break. That's it. Everyone was chasing that headline. 112.36 is my level for a breakout on Qualcomm. Win and LVS. Yep. Netflix calls. Netflix has not done well for us, and I don't see myself playing calls here, especially not with this chart on Netflix. I don't see any reason to play calls here unless we get a bounce above 490-ish, 492. Fastly, everyone always asks me about that. I don't know anything about that company, but you could see just a big pullback on the stock from 117 to 75. A lot of profit taking on those levels. So I don't know much about him. I don't see myself buying any. I'm very tech heavy in my portfolio, and I think there's better names out there to play. That's just my 2 cents. Shop as a stock I've been wanting to buy, but I'm still waiting for a little more. So Shop again, I'm bullish on that stock long term, of course, but 761 is your 100-day on the daily. I would say around 900 bucks. I think I pull the trigger at $900. I'll go ahead and buy some some Shop finally. And I really regret not buying some, but I think 900, I would go ahead and buy some. Cisco puts, Cisco when it comes to options, not a ton of volume, not a ton of movement. It's been just sideways, and you could see that just sideways like J&J. Lululemon, I own long term. I don't play options on it. I just never see any volume, but Lulu's long term is great. I'm at work listening to this every morning, bro. I prep to hit the restroom for stocks. Hey, you're welcome, man. All right, with that being said, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll catch you guys for tomorrow's morning note, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications on our video channel. Bottom right-hand corner is the G.A.R Capital logo. Make sure to click that, and we'll catch you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.